So it's 6:20 in the morning. Just got into Budapest, overnight bus. I'm just walking down the road really into town, general direction, don't know. Then I come across this. It's like random, impressively random. This is one of those iconic cities of Eastern Europe. It's old, it's new, it's vibrant, it's meaningful, it's happy and sombre. It's all things to all people. After that rather poetic introduction, Budapest was historically two different cities that joined together as one only 150 years ago. Pest and Buda, on either side of the Danube River, got together and became Pest Buda. That didn't really roll off the tongue very well, so they swapped it round to get the Budapest that we know and love today. One tour guide said that there are two types of people in Budapest, one that lives in Buda and one that wishes they lived in Buda. Buda is higher ground and rather hilly, whereas Pest had been flooded a few times over its history and has had to be rebuilt a few times. Speaking of rebuilds, there are a huge number of rebuild projects underway. Apparently the place was a mess after World War II, and the communists were very selective about what they fixed up and what they didn't. An example was the old royal palace that the communists took a budget approach to fixing. Apparently their fix involved plastic windows. Not really a good look on a royal palace. 1 million billion. The Hungarian people are actually of Asian origin. Non-Hungarian people originally called them Huns because they had similar practices and culture to the Huns which swept through Europe a few centuries before the Hungarian forebears turned up. But they are not Huns. Instead, they refer to themselves as Mayas. So when this Asian people turned up and claimed a piece of Europe in around 1000 AD, the big chief realised that the only way they were going to survive was if they did a deal with the Pope and became a Christian country, something they did and they've been able to survive ever since, although they were occupied by the Ottomans for 145 years before a combined European force kicked the Ottomans out, thanks to this guy, Pope Innocent XI in the 1680s. This resulted in a long association with Austria's Habsburg dynasty. Then Hungary chose the wrong side in World War II and got punished majorly with the loss of territories including Transylvania, which was transferred to Romania. The Soviet army seemed to also be a paradox. They liberated the country from the Nazis, but then installed their own tough rule of law, which only collapsed, thankfully rather peacefully, just after the fall of the Berlin Wall. That guy's the patron saint of dogs. So this is the Danube. It's not really very blue, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty big river. The Danube River lies at the centre of the city. She's a pretty big river. And it ain't blue like the song says. It's a muddy brown colour. It is impressively wide and well known as a river cruise destination, many of which can be seen on the banks of the river. It's the second longest river in Europe after the Volga in Russia, and walks along the bank on either side are a must. The Parliament buildings were once the largest Parliament building complex in the world. That was until Nicolae Ceausescu, the Romanian nutjob, built his country's parliament / glorified palace. And then India and the USA have also built enormous ones since. So the Hungarian one has dropped to 4th place, so now no longer on the podium, but it is still immense. A tour of the Parliament buildings takes you to the Crown. It's been around since the 1100s, although they don't precisely know when it was made. You can't take pictures in the room with the Crown, and the two blokes standing guard with sharpened swords look ready to decapitate anyone who dared to take a photo. I get the feeling it would be decapitation first, questions later. Finished in 1904, nearly 100,000 people were involved in building this thing, using around 40 million bricks, 500,000 precious stones, and 40 kilograms of gold. Impressive. It's a beautiful sunny morning here in Budapest. Whoop whoop! It's a Monday morning in Budapest. The Fisherman's Bastion is a very, very nice area on the Buda side of the river. This part of the castle wall was supposedly the responsibility of the local fishermen to defend, hence the name. But I didn't see a sardine or a cod anywhere in sight, just heaps of tourists. The Buda Castle area is subject to a lot of rebuild activities, but the tour guide rates the nearby fountain on a par with Rome's Trevi Fountain. I'm not so sure about that. Bro, where's my hat? Bro, where's my hat? Hey, cowboy. My accommodation for a couple of nights. Very old school lift. The fastest elevator in the world. Finally, this tribute on the shore of the Danube is in remembrance of some of the atrocities committed during World War II. Around 3,500 people were shot and their bodies were just carried away downstream. My time in Budapest was great. I loved it. Great city, great place to be. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.